What's up, y'all? Polo Sports Talking ENT here again with another one. Make sure y'all hit the like and stuff and and share with them friends to look things that we got talking about us um, if if you're not you know if you know your mom or and what and they really no people say well stop Um, you know, look, you know, a lot of people they sit here and they criticize the black woman. They talk about how she's not this. They talk about how she's not that. How she needs to get better with this or get better with that. Well, you're not making anything better if you mistreating that woman. If you're talking down on that woman. Now, I'm talking about the successful, progressive, educated black women that are actually doing something for themselves. Even the ones that are struggling. Um, I'm talking to them too. I'm not talking about the ones that are, liars, cheaters, deceivers, conniving, any of that. I'm not talking about those women. Now, of course, we gotta, believe it or not, we gotta protect them too. Even as bad as we don't want to, if it's a life or death situation. But in terms of coming to the rescue and agreeing with what they're doing and everything, then you have your right to separate from that. But for the ones that's actually out there on their grind, on their hustle, actually trying to do what they can to make ends meet, they're providing for their kids, they're doing everything they can for their husband and everything. We have to protect women like that, and a lot of kings don't want to hear that. They don't want to see that. Believe it or not, Matter of fact, I wouldn't even call them kings. If you're not willing to, fight for your woman, um, if you're not willing to fight for your queen, then what good are you? What good are you to even being in the empire? If that makes any sense, it's your job to protect, and not only to protect, man. Okay, when I say provide, we're not just talking about just materialistic things or even money. Yeah, you know what I mean. It is your job to provide love, to to provide companionship, to provide teaching, because a lot of these black women don't even have their fathers. Their fathers were never around. That's why, with my daughters, I make sure that I'm around every step of the way. And I'm also going to make sure I bring up my son that he loves and cherishes the black woman. Okay. Now, I was talking to LVZ. Shout out to LVZ too, and he was talking about how we need to protect our queens. In this society right now, especially, which I agree with too. But see, what I trip on, right? Uh, let's say a guy like LeBron, who's been with his high school sweetheart, uh, forever and a day, still together to this day. You know, uh, he loves and he cherishes her. He protects her. He provides for his kids. Does everything he can to make sure that they have a roof over their head, clothes on their back, and food on their table. See, if a normal guy was doing that, guess what he looked at? Most guys would look at that dude as a simp, right? But okay, you you downplay a man when he's actually doing the right thing by treating the woman right and everything like that, by calling this man a simp and everything, right? You know, you stick by her and everything like that. But then when you cheat, or when you got like seven different side chicks, when you out here mistreating her and abusing her, talking to her disrespectful, not just straight, flat out not caring about that that queen's feelings or needs. Well, then guess what? They celebrate that man, believe it or not, and they don't even say anything to them. You know, and what's funny too, some of the people, like say for instance, right? You walk into a family gathering, and there's like seven to eight different women there. Okay, um, four of the women they have husbands, right? They got husbands. Um, you know, they've been with their significant other or their husbands for many years. They know each other like the back of their hand, of course. But then you have the other four women there who are have boyfriends or are single. Uh, You walk in, you having a good time. Uh, you want to make you making sure that your wife is her needs are met and everything. Well, guess what? Those those other four women that are single that have boyfriends and that have just I guess you could say they're not they're not married. Well, guess what? They'll look at the guy and they'll be like, "Ooh, girl, I wish I had a man like this, or I had a man like that, or something like that," right? Not realizing that they put their own self in their own predicament, and they'll sit there and actually not they'll sit there and not even entertain the fact of even trying to find or even trying to look for a great man. You know why? Because they're so used to being mistreated that when a guy walks in, that he's hitting them streets. He's getting the bag. You know what I'm saying? Any type of way that you could think of, by any means necessary, so to speak. Um, his mentality is kill to be killed, so to speak, right? And then he walks in. Well, guess what? They might be criticizing that man, outright and stuff, but deep down inside, shoot, they getting wet. They getting, they like that. They're turned on because they like the third nigga, you know. But on the exterior, they're saying, "Oh, well, I wish I had a man that could pay my bills, that can treat me right and everything like that." But inside of themselves, they're sitting there like, "Oh, okay, well, uh, I need a man, that can handle me. I need a man that's gonna be able to, um, put me in check every now and then and all this other stuff." You know what I'm saying? So which one is it? Which one is it? Because the last time that I checked, the the man that's ahead of his empire make sure that everything uh, is in line, uh, in terms of organization and responsibility. When you go out and you have a family, people are judging you by the way that your family is. It's a reflection on you, believe it or not. When you go out and you with your queen, guess what? As a man, it's a reflection on you. Believe it or not, even if when you with your sisters and you with your cousins and stuff, believe it or not, they're looking at the kings because they're actually seeing, okay, to protect are they willing to protect their family by any means necessary? Look, if you're not willing to fight to the death for your auntie, for your mother, for your sister, for your cousin, for your wife, for your girlfriend, man, get from around me. Get from around me. I don't want you near me. Matter of fact, I don't even want to. I choose not to look to you because you know what that says to me. You're not a warrior. You know, you're not a warrior. You're not a warrior at all. Matter of fact, the women that you're probably around are have more warrior spirit than you do. That's straight up facts. We gotta learn to appreciate and protect our queens. Now for all of my African American men that might have a significant other, such as a wife or girlfriend that's of another race, or even mixed race. This doesn't really apply to you. But what I will say though, it doesn't apply to you, but it doesn't necessarily exclude you. You still have to treat your woman with respect, and part of respect is making sure you protect her, both from a physical standpoint and also from a standpoint of really standing up for her, from a mental capacity. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: there's gonna be a lot of people that might not like your significant other, and you have to be able to stand firm and protect that. Look, we roll as one. If you don't, if you're not with her, you're not with me. But you'll be surprised. A lot of men don't even roll that way. They'll be like, "Oh, okay, well, shoot, man, I can't say I don't blame you for not liking her." You actually have people like that. If that's the case, if you're in a marriage, or I'll just say a marriage, if you're in a marriage, then shoot, you might as well be in a contractual marriage. It might as well just be business, because you sure as hell are not with her because of love, or because you truly appreciate that woman. You know, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people out here that say, "Oh yeah, man, I need a woman for this, or I need a woman for that." But then once you get the woman, you don't know how to even treat her. You don't even know how to protect her. Man, she more gangster than you. She could throw hands better than you. She could probably shoot a pistol better than you. She could probably sell dope and rob and hustle and grind harder than what you've ever done in your life. That's from a hood aspect, and then from a just a straight up productive aspect. Man, she probably will know how to work circles around you. It's like she's wearing the pants. She wears the pants in the relationship, and it shouldn't even be that way. You got to stand firm, and you got to stand on your own 2 feet as a man, and protect that woman. Yes, okay. Do women have their place? Yeah, absolutely. They do have their place. They're supposed to have their place. But that does not mean that your anger and your bitterness towards women, towards every single woman, uh, should give you a reason not to make sure that you stand firm, and stand uh, front line for that woman and for our queens, if that makes any sense. hold on 1 second. Go over there. 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 No B. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. Um. Yeah, I'm up in here watching my kids right now as we speak. But you have an obligation and you got a responsibility to make sure that that woman's needs are met. You have an obligation and a responsibility to make sure that that queen is protected. We're not doing our job in society, and we're just sitting there and we're allowing them. We're allowing them to destroy our queens. No, we got to go to bat for them. Who cares if that woman is mixed? Listen, she still uh is a black queen regardless if she's mixed or not. You know what I'm saying? She's still a black queen, whether you want to believe it or not. You know, and if you're from another race, protect your queen regardless. We don't take the love for our women seriously. We don't take the love for our black queens seriously. Um, you should take the love for your black women for our black women so serious to the point where it absolutely hurts your heart, even if you don't know, uh, a black queen. It hurts your heart if any type of destruction happens to her, much less her like passing away. For instance, I hate bringing her up, but like Breonna Taylor, you know, excuse me. Yeah, we have to protect our women. We have to protect our women from everything out here, our black women, okay? And if you don't have an African American woman, like I told you in the beginning, it doesn't necessarily, apply to you. But what I did say is that it doesn't exclude you. You still have to protect your woman regardless. You have to be a warrior. And we do need to protect our women from the agenda that they have for the destruction of our African American women. If that makes any sense. And if you're not African American, you probably wouldn't understand that very much because we've always had a target on our backs. Now, some of the women that do some of the things that they do, they put it on themselves. But a lot of times, our hard work. I'm speaking of our hardworking, educated black women that that take care of their kids, that take care of their responsibilities, might even be single. That and a lot of single women, believe it or not, they're very progressive. They're just as progressive as the women that are married. I'm talking about those type of women that are being um, under a microscope and focused on in order to cause destruction, and it's evident. You know. Now, like I said, LA Live, and you welcome to come in here and talk about this because I think me and you we had conversated about this before. Okay, if you don't see that there's a type of agenda that is being placed upon our sisters, then you're not paying attention for real because it's happening upon us. Uh, I'll give you a prime example. Okay, Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso, man, his issue with marijuana, him being caught up with marijuana in the airport, they got swept up under the rug, right? They only talked about it for just a little bit, right? You know, but when Marion Jones got in trouble with the steroid issue and that whole situation, I want to say Balco and everything and the HGH, it was HGH, that's what it was. Guess what? They never lived it down. Now, that's a prime example. She made a mistake just like anybody else. And it cost her a lot of things, you know. But nevertheless, she was still being under placed under a microscope more than a non-black person. Hold on. But you know, uh, I'm speaking for all of our queens out here. You have a duty, you have an obligation, you have a responsibility to make sure that that our women are protected. If you see a woman that's being attacked, I'm not just talking about physically, but I'm talking about from a standpoint of her being even verbally attacked. What are you going to do? You just going to sit there? Now, if she put it on herself, then of course there's a correct way of actually teaching a woman and actually um, educating her, you know, rather than scolding her. Because as men, we're supposed to teach our women. We're not supposed to degrade them. Uh, we believe it or not, we throw more fuel in the fire by you going to the strip club and actually putting dollars and sticking it in a woman's ass or something just because she's shaking her ass in your face. Well, guess what you're doing by doing that? You making the situation much worse. Whereas if would you stand outside of a strip club or female review, whatever you want to call it. Now the link is already there. The link is already there. The link is already there, sir. The link is already there, sir. And I'm gonna tell you this one time. It won't let you in. It should let you in. It should let you in. I done dropped it again. There you go. All right. Yes, sir. LA Sports Live. What's going on, man?
What's up, Polo? Just real quick, I guess we haven't really formally met other than in the comment section. So, what's up, man? My name is AC. I'm in LA. 45, black male, married to a black woman, and two little badass black kids running around here.
Right,
So,
right, 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 right.
so
But
I think
appreciate them, though.
so.
Appreciate them, though.
Yeah. But
Appreciate them.
so I just wanted to introduce myself, man. So at least uh, who you rapping with.
No problem, man. What's on your mind, man? Go ahead and let it out.
Well, I was just curious, man. I understand, as a man, um, what our job and our duties are as far as protecting our women, and like you said, it really doesn't matter. We're black, so we're coming from that perspective, but it doesn't really matter what race you are. The male is supposed to protect the female of that species. The male is the stronger of the species, so that's our natural role to protect. So I think we kind of got that understanding. But what I was asking is, um when you say we got to protect them, um I was curious as to what is like from who, like who are you speaking of, specifically? Are you speaking of the government? Are you speaking of media? Are you speaking of uh, from each other? So I was just trying to get a little bit of clarification, man, on like exactly who you meant that we had to protect them from. Excuse me.
Okay, okay. That's hey. I'm glad you brought that up, brother, and I'm glad you wanted me to clarify that and elaborate on that. Now, when I say protection, it's it doesn't just it doesn't just focus on one particular category. It's multiple categories. You have daughters, right?
I have one each, one boy and one girl.
Okay, well you have a daughter, okay?
Right.
I have two of them, okay? And I
Right.
have a son, okay? All right, let's just talk from that perspective because we're gonna we you have to train up a child anyways, and then you could talk adulthood. But let's just talk childhood, okay? You want to
Right.
make sure that you train your women, your young girls into being women, but not only what begins with a W-2, it's warrior, right? We have a lot of men out here that don't protect their daughters and they don't protect their wives and they don't protect their girls. They don't even protect their moms. They don't even protect their aunties or any of that, right? And I'm talking about our black women, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're saying, right, you want to know specifically, like for instance, you're a father, okay?
Right.
It is your duty and your obligation to make sure that you protect them from what's being taught to them in the schools, from what they're watching and consuming from the internet. We're not talking about the '60s and the '70s and the '80s and all that, where it's just TV. Now we're talking about where a child could just click on anything and they'll be on the wrong thing. I'm talking about that consumption. Then we're talking
Right.
about what they're consuming physically from as far as food and everything. They might see something that other cultures might be eating or something like that, and they might feel it's all right, but for us, we might look at that and we'd be like, I don't want you drinking Gatorade. But hey, but Dad, they drink Gatorade over not at my house.
Right. Right.
That's the type of protection that we need to do. Now that's just one angle, LA Live. Uh,
Uh,
uh, Now another angle that I'm speaking of when you bring up media, right? Listen, we have to make sure that we're very careful. Like I brought up Maria Taylor, right? Okay,
mm-hmm.
and the reason why I bring her up, LA Live, is because you look at Maria Taylor, you look at how many different dynamics that she's covering. You know what I'm saying? She's doing the
Mm-hmm.
SEC network, she's doing the ESPN, she's doing college football, college basketball, NBA, NFL, doing everything in there. You know what I'm saying? And on top of
Mm-hmm.
that, guess what? She played the sport and she's working 10 times harder than some of the guys there. But guess what? She's being overworked and she's being underpaid. So what we have to do is we have to advocate and we have to tell her we have to make sure that we have her back in terms of protecting her and saying, hey, look, nah, I'll be damned if she only should get 3 to 5 million. She's worth more than that. That's just one thing. But the thing about it is like we're not protecting our queens. What we're doing is we're jumping on the train and we're saying, oh, okay, well, you know what, if it doesn't involve me or anything like that, well, shoot, whatever. And we shouldn't be doing that in our community. Now, will we ever meet Maria Taylor? Will some of these people we ever meet Maria Taylor? No, absolutely not. But if you have an opportunity with a woman that you rub elbows with, whether it's your friend or a family member, your wife, whoever, that's really trying to be ambitious about succeeding and everything like that, you do everything that you can to try to protect, that queen or that princess that eventually become a queen. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I mean. A lot of us don't do that though. LA Live. We sit here. Let's say that one of our queens is being verbally attacked, like in school or something like that. Back in the days. Well, I know, like mom. It didn't even take my mom. My mom was a single mom raising me, right? But it didn't even take my mom to learn that. It took other guys to tell me, nah, you protect her regardless. Don't let nobody talk to her that type of way. And it's the same mentality as you maturate into manhood, man. And we're not doing that in society now. We rarely protect our queens, and some people will downplay it and throw our queens under the bus and say, you know what? Well, I'm not. I choose not to mess with black women. Okay, if you're gonna say you don't mess with black women, that's fine, but don't elaborate on it. Don't be like, why? Because they ratchet, or they'll do this to you. They conniving. Da 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 da. Da. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on, sir.
Well,
You
yeah,
know,
I heard you
and
saying.
and and
Keep
that's
that in
that's
house.
that's how
Yeah,
that's how we
that is.
we we're supposed to protect our
I hear what you're saying, bro. I was just trying to get clarification. What you're saying is right. You're correct. Um, if you want to talk about the Maria Taylor situation, okay, yeah,
hmm
you kind of elaborated, so it gave me a better understanding of your how you felt about it. So I guess in that type of situation, like well, I guess men are the consumers of ESPN, right? I don't know. I don't know how many black men watch ESPN or whatever. So, I mean, we know the story that came out recently or whatever, and then everybody kind of chimed in with their opinion, and I didn't really have too much of an opinion on
Uh,
Maria.
And
You
and
know,
and let me stop everybody for
uh,
listen. I meant to tell man, I'm being rude, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to LA Sports Live too. Hey, don't get it twisted. Now, me and him, we have a discussion, but I mess with LA Sports Live. Matter of fact, I enjoyed what you said about I ain't gonna spoil it or nothing like that. But what you talking about, LeBron and AD and the positions and stuff.
yeah.
So don't get it twisted, man. I mess with your work. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe to this brother channel. But
I
go ahead.
appreciate it, man. We're both creators, so in the end,
Yeah.
we all gotta support each other, man, because we just small little fish
Right.
in the
Right.
big
Yeah.
YouTube pond. But
Right.
like so yeah, I see Maria Taylor, man, professional. You got to respect her work. You got all that kind of stuff because, like you said, she is a former professional athlete, and but my kind of take on that situation is me being African American. I can see why people will take exception to some of the stuff that was said. But me personally, I didn't hear any personal attacks per se, personal attacks.
Mhm.
So that's why I was just kind of like, that's to me, I won't say it's a
But see that,
non-story.
but LA, that's what they want. That's what people they lust after that, right? Like
Right.
they want me to get up here, and they let's just be honest, man. Uh, down in somebody, turmoil, friction, confrontation, stuff like that. That's enticing.
Right.
Negativity, that's enticing to some people. So if I was to get up here and bash women and say all this other stuff, I guarantee you there would be people just really what you say, salivating at the mouth
Right. Right.
and mouth watering, trying to be like, oh, what's gonna happen and everything like that. And then you also gonna get some people that's gonna be up in there and try to, even if it's negative attention, they're gonna be like, look, you got what you want, and me, I'm not here to do that.
Right.
I'm not here to do that. But go ahead, man. My bad. I
But
didn't cut you off, brother.
oh, no problem, man. But so in that situation, yeah, I mean, I was black before anything else, so I understand what you're saying. We always, when anything jumps off, we always gonna have a certain kind of point of view on it, at least initially. Is if somebody black is involved, and then the other person happens to be white, so we always gonna, like, well, hold up, who said what about whatever, and then once the stuff comes out, then you decide whatever, however you want to feel about it. But to your point,
How do you feel about our women being treated though, LA man? Because you in the same arena as me. You married and you got two kids. You got two kids. I got multiple kids and everything like that. I
mhm.
mean, how do you see it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you got a wife that works. Just like you pounding the pavement yourself, man. Talk to me about that because I want to know, what you feeling, and how you see society going, man.
Well, this is what I think, bro.
Hmm.
Like, if we're talking about the stuff that happens in relationships between men and women, I believe, and you tell me how you feel about it, you attract what you are. So if you per se are a woman and you starting to have a bad streak as far as the type of men that you're running into, mistreating you, cheating on you, whatever the case may be, what I believe is you got to evaluate first. You got to reevaluate your situation, your surrounding, and what kind of people you're like communicating with or coming in contact with. And then probably at the same time, or secondly, then you got to do some self-reflection, because people only do, or people only treat you how you allow them to treat you. Like if somebody comes and mistreats you once, and then okay, you it's nothing you can do about that. But after that point, it's kind of like it's on you. After that point, how much further it's going to go, or or am I going to still deal with that person, or do I let this person know right here, right then and there? Look, that's not going to be tolerated. Now, I mean, if you're saying that, if you're saying like right now in mainstream media that there is like a full out attack on black women, I'm not so sure if I necessarily agree with that wholeheartedly, because black women, they're doing pretty good right now as a whole. Well, I mean, well, let's say it depends on what arena you're talking about it, but black women, they're the most educated women on in this country, right? Per capita, or whatever you want to go by the numbers, there's more black women with bachelors, masters, and doctors and all that kind of stuff per capita than any other race in this country. Um, I could provide the data, if you want proof of that, but black women are the most educated, more, much more educated on the whole than black men. But at the same time, black women still have, you know, a lot of issues, a lot of things that they're going through. And if you want to just talk about specifically the mistreatment, um, are you narrowing it down to like, if are you just talking about the relationship wise between men and women, or are you talking about the stuff in the media or everything? Because even if you just boil it down, the stuff that happens between men and women, I think we have to go a little bit deeper, because if the men are not standing up, like you say, and that is a 100% legit, uh, you're right in that assertion. But it's kind of crazy, because if you dig a little bit deeper, 80% of our households, or well, I'll put it like this: 80% of our black children that are being born today are being born to single parent homes. So so I guess you could say 80% of the black boys that being born to black women, and they don't have men around, they're being raised by black women. So if these boys grow up to they grow up to being men, right? So, and they don't have a man to teach them how to be a man, how to uh, protect and respect black women, they have to learn that on the fly, or they don't learn it at all, or they just have to resort and go by what that black woman is teaching them.
Okay, now let me throw some, because you sound like you're a numbers man, and you like statistics and analytics man, which is nothing wrong with that. I'm not biased when it comes to that. I'm more the eye test, and that's a great point, man. You know what I'm saying? By the way, LA Live. Now look here, man. Uh, listen, in I think it was it was in 2020. The percentages that uh, among all U.S. Management, business, and financial operations, in terms of employees in 2020. You know who leads that statistical category?
You talking about in
The
government? In
percentage
government?
the percentage of women of color among all U.S. management, business, and financial operation employees. You know who leads that statistical category?
Amongst women?
Yeah, amongst color women. You know who
Okay,
leads?
minority. I would not be surprised. I'd be willing to put money on it. It's probably more. It's probably black women.
No, it's Asian women. We come second. Asian, no, actually, it's Asians. Asian lead the country at 18.8%. Then it's white women, which are 18.1
Uh-huh.
percent, and then it's 14. Our sisters at 14.2%. Now I'm gonna throw some other
Uh,
things at you
oh, you
too.
said management.
Now,
My bad. I thought you said overall employment, but you said management. But okay, go
well,
ahead.
not well, man. Because that's LA Live. That's a powerful position, and then
Right,
what do we strive for? We strive to be at the top. You know what I'm saying? We
right,
don't,
right, right.
of the hierarchy. You know what I'm saying, so to speak.
Okay.
Now, also, according to it was now this was in 2019. I don't know if the numbers have quite jumped up, which I imagine they probably dropped due to the given situation that's happened in the country and everything, because the unemployment has just took a significant hit.
Right,
Well, it did at least last year because of the pandemic. I'm not going to say the name.
right, right,
It said,
right.
according to the survey, half of women of color professional plan to leave their employers in the next 2 years. You know who led in that category?
Of the women,
Yeah,
uh, who said they plan to leave their employers.
yeah. They plan to leave. They gave because some employers, LA Live, you know this better than I do. Um, some of them, some corporations, they want you to give like a year to 2 years notice, if that makes any sense. Uh, like say there's some employees that want you to give a 90-day notice and stuff like that, not no 2 weeks notice, if that makes
Right,
any sense, because
right,
they
right.
got
I
to
got
get
you.
everything structured. Well, anyways, man, not trying to ramble,
Um,
but black women led at 52%. Then it was Asian women at 48%, and then it was Latino women at 49%.
that's interesting.
You know, I think another one that we also got to talk about labor in terms of the labor force, the projected percentage increase in the labor force of women or by race or ethnicity. We led in that category. We had nine. No. Hispanic women led in that category. They were at 25.8%. Black women were next at 9.3%, and then it was white women at 3.1%. And the percent of women of color among, I've already mentioned that. No, what was the other one? Okay, education. That was another big thing. Now, you were just talking about education, right? Now,
Right.
of the bachelor's degrees earned in the U.S. By women of color, the it goes by in this order. Okay, uh, Hispanic women led at 14.9%, and that was just bachelor's degrees. Black women were next at 11.4%, but it did take a rise at 12.3%, and then Asian and Pacific Islander women at 7.6%. So it wasn't us that actually led. It was the
Mm,
Hispanic women that led at 14.9%, man.
Well, I think if you adjusted those numbers by population, we would probably be on top. But I think for sure we can agree that black women right now are the most educated that they've ever been
Absolutely.
in the
And
history
we're
of
the
the
we're the
country.
most independent, and we preach ownership. You see, like, okay, you from LA, you already know Ice Cube. What does he preach?
Doing your
He,
own thing, working for yourself.
exactly. He preaches ownership. That's why the man studied architecture. You know what I'm saying? I love Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that he was no hardcore gangster, none of that other stuff like they said he was or anything. But I like his
Right, right.
business perspective and everything. But yeah, LA, you on point and you on key. I just had to throw that out there that
Mm-hmm.
we yeah, while we're dominating in some areas, we still have to make sure that we're raising our women and we're protecting our women to go ahead and to actually boost those numbers too, and make sure that we can put them out there and say, okay, hey, look, we we're better than this, because a lot of our women have given up. A lot of our women have given up. Now, a lot of single women are actually, like, I think you touched on this already. A lot of single women are doing better than most married women.
Well, what do you mean by that? Because they make more money? Is that what you're saying?
Um, Not well. No, 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 no. I'm talking. Well, in terms of wealth, yeah. I mean, you could talk about wealth. Like, I know my cousin. She was single for the longest, had 3 kids. Uh, her ex was in the military and everything, and I guess she took probably the criticism that, oh yeah, well, you can't do this on your own, and you can't do that on your own. But she was able to get her master's, be able to put her kids through school. They are grown now, and on top of that, she wasn't just driving a good car. LA Live. She was
Mm-hmm.
driving a great car. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? A very great car. It was a 2000. Hold on one second. I'm sorry about that. It was a 2000. It was like a two. At that time, it was like a 2018 uh, Acura. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Brand new. So it wasn't no Benz or none of that. But hey, she was doing pretty good. So when she came to family reunion or whatnot, everybody was expecting her to be struggling and going through all this. No, she like, no, I'm doing fine. Matter of fact, she leveled up. But that's just an example, and I know you done seen that a lot, LA Live.
That's well, yeah, I've seen it quite a bit. But if you don't mind, let's dial it back just a little bit because I like talking to you, man, because you see things a little bit different than I do.
Hmm.
But I think sometimes we still try and get to the same place. Okay, so my daughter is 7, right?
Hmm.
So she's still pretty young, and me and my wife, we have to mold her to be her the type of woman that we want her to be, to represent us and to be able to
Facts.
take
That is
and to be able
facts.
to go out in the world, and do her thing wherever she wants to do.
Facts. Hmm.
But I came from a household. My parents were married until my dad passed away, so for over 40 years.
Sorry to hear that. Hmm.
No, thanks. Well, my wife, her parents were married, but her father died at a young age when she was less than 10. So she
Hmm.
never really grew up with a man in the house, and then there were other dynamics surround, surrounding that. But I grew up with both of my parents. But my question is, number one, um, so for us in our community, either you got boys or girls, you got both or whatever. But for specifically for our women, since we're talking about women right now, and in the case of our little girls, how should we be raising our little girls? Should we be raising them and telling them, look, you have to be strong, you have to be independent, you have to be able to take care of yourself, fend for yourself, um, or should we be teaching them how to be how should I say it? Or should we be teaching them how to be, because like I said, I grew up in a house with a husband and wife, mother and father. Should we be teaching them to be strong black women, to be able to stand on their own? Or should we be teaching them, you know, to be, yes, to be a strong black woman, but also at the same time to be a strong black wife and mother, and to stand alongside that black man? So, or should it be a combination of the two? Because I personally think I'm gonna tell, like for example, I'm gonna tell my daughter, yes, you You go to school, you go to high school, you graduate. Yes, you go to college and you go ahead and get your 4 year degree, do whatever you're going to do, so you'll be able to take care of yourself in this world if that's the way it ends up. But I think for some of these women, man, sometimes, okay, you want to go to school and get your bachelor's, that's 4 years. Then you want to go for your master's, that's another 2 years. Then some people want to go and be a doctor, that's another 2 to 4 years. I personally, what I plan on teaching my daughter is, yeah, you got to have your basic education, and then you got to decide what kind of career you want to go in to sustain yourself. But I'm like, for me personally, I think her end goal should be, at some point she need to be trying to find a husband, not just trying to go out and to conquer the world, because that's supposed to be for us, for men to conquer the world. I don't have, if a woman wants to do that and that's what she wants to do with her life, cool.
Mhm.
But I personally think, you know, a woman's, I'm not saying women can't get out there and work and all that kind of stuff. I'm not no fucking caveman. But I'm just saying where I think some of our sisters get kind of messed up is they spend so much time chasing that paper, meaning the money and the degrees, they forget that, hey, I need to have somebody along, alongside with me. And then that's why we see so many women of our women, they have all these degrees, they lawyers and doctors or whatever, and then you look at their hand and they ain't got no ring on that finger. And
Right.
I don't care how many degrees they got, I don't care how much money they got. At the end of the day, they may not want to admit it publicly, but at the end of the day, I know nobody wants to end up, at the end being alone. So I just personally think, yeah, that's cool, man. We gotta teach our women to be strong, to do this and do that, or whatever.
Mhm.
But don't lose sight of perspective of, if you want to go by the basics of the Bible, what women were put here for. They weren't put here to conquer the world. They were put here to be. Eve was put here to be Adam's, according to the Bible, helpmate, not to come here and tell him, boss him around and tell him what to do.
Nah, you're on point with that. See, listen, we're by nature, we're hunters. We're
Right.
hunters and gatherers, and women by nature are what nurturers. All right, they're supposed to be doing in the house, cooking and cleaning and stuff. But hey, LA Live, you grew up in the African American household. You know what I'm saying? Just like I did. Hey, we got that don't get it twisted factor. You feel me? And that's what we want to teach you. Like, look, hey, we want our daughters, and we want even our cousins and sisters and everything. Even our aunties, that might be single. We want them to, have a man that where they know their place and they're able to treat them well. But at the same token, I know at least in my family or whatnot, yes, we want our women to be soft, genuine, and
Mhm.
caring and nurturers,
Feminine.
of that nature, even successful and everything.
Mhm.
But if there's a case where, okay, look, LA Live and Polo, we're not around our daughters, well, guess what? They got to be independent to agree. There might be they might go through a period when they can't depend upon a man, and they have to be able to protect themselves to that degree. So we want to have that don't get it twisted factor
That's true.
to them, and I think, but there are some women, LA Live, you did bring up a good point. There are some women and some men that probably raised them or did something to them to program to think that to conquer the world. No, that's our job. We
Right.
are the ones. That's our purpose. A man's purpose is very sacred and should not be interrupted by no one. on this earth. But what I was saying though, LA Live, being that
Mhm.
you want, okay, when your daughters get older, you know what I'm saying, or it's just my, I know at least for me, you're gonna want them to be with someone that is able to more than anything protect them.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Because if you leave this earth, you want to make sure that your daughter
right,
is in good hands.
right, right.
And that's the same thing for, when we leave this earth and our wives are still here. You would,
Mhm.
okay, look, we just got to be real. We were approaching. I know I'm approaching my 40. You said you were already 40 or whatnot.
Uh-huh.
We have to start thinking about stuff like that. Okay, if I disintegrate, you know what I'm saying, a transition, whatever you want to call it. If I transition early before her, what
Mhm.
I want her to be with someone, the answer automatically should be no. But if she chooses to be, what I want her to be with someone uh, like myself or even better, that's going to protect for her, that's going to provide for her, that's going to be a teacher, that's going to
Mhm.
be hustling and out there grinding and doing everything possible to not let anything. You're going to have tunnel vision towards your purpose. And on top of that, you got to have a vision, mission, as well as a purpose too. Without the vision, everything is going to perish. And of course, that's in the Bible. I don't
Right.
know the exact quote of the scripture, because you
Mhm.
talk about the Bible reference, and I know you
Mhm.
theological. It sounds like you real spiritual, man. But you exactly right, man. It's just, man, LA Live, man. Some people, they get it twisted. Like you look at some of these women out here, man. Now, be honest, though, LA Live. You look at some of our queens. You just like, man, our women. Some of our women are lost, man, and don't have
Yeah.
a clue.
Yeah. It's yeah, it's sad to see. And the reason, look, the reason why I say some of the stuff that I just got
Hmm.
saying earlier, man, is like because I see, you know, I work in government. I've been working in government over 20 years. So now I've crossed paths with a lot of our sisters in different capacities,
Hmm.
from the bottom to the top. Yeah,
Powerful women.
I mean from the bottom to the top. But the thing I was noticing, and I started at a young age. I started at 24 or 25,
Hmm.
something like that. So pretty much most of my adult life I've been working in government, and so I've been crossing paths with these women. But it seemed like to me, the more educated they were, the more successful they were, the least likely they were to have a man.
Right, right.
So my thing was, I'm like, okay, and now here I am, so many years later. Now I'm married, and then I have a young daughter. I was like, yeah, I want you to be able to get out there and have all the things that you want, but I just think some of these sisters, they lose track of the importance of having a man. Like like how many times, like how often do you hear, like us as men? How many times do you hear black men run around talking about, look, I don't need no woman. But it's
Yeah.
commonplace to really, it's always very commonplace to hear a black woman say, well, I don't need no man.
Right.
I can do bad by myself.
Yeah.
Um, I don't want no scrub. They
Yeah.
made a they made a
You
damn
take it away back. Yeah, they don't
they
know nothing
made
about
right,
that.
right. They made a damn song about it. So
Right.
it's like, come on, man. I just think the reason part, not all the reason, but part of the reason, like you say, some of our sisters are lost is because
Hold on one second, LA Live. Hold on. My bad about that, LA Live. I'm out here. Okay. LA Live, you still there, brother? I think LA Live may have fell out. Um, Look, y'all, plain and simple. Uh, we got to protect our women. Make sure that everybody, you know, knows our purpose for our queens that are here. You know, so I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I thank LA Live for pulling up to the live stream. I thank everybody that was in the chat that showed love. Um, FYF, I saw you in there. Look, until then, like this video, share it, subscribe. I thank LA Live for giving its perspective. Wonderful brother. Make sure that you subscribe to his channel. He brings a lot of dope content. He's a LA Lakers fan. Until then, this Polo Sports Talk and ENT. Y'all have a good one.